Hey there, CineMaster fans! Hope you're ready for some movie magic. Let's dive right in. The story. Solar Impact begins on a spaceship where a man named Tom is busy with his work. He works on sending information from space to Earth and quickly tells his superiors that for the past few days, fireballs have been coming out of the sun very rapidly. While they are still talking, their connection suddenly gets disconnected and Tom starts to feel in danger because fireballs start falling quickly near him towards Earth, and Tom's spaceship also starts going down. After this incident, the scene shifts to a hilly area in England called Heatherfield, where we see Owen and his wife Jane living in a small house. Like every day when Jane finishes breakfast and goes outside to get some fresh air, she suddenly sees fireballs falling from the sky, which hit the ground and cause a huge explosion. At that moment, Owen, who is inside the house, also hears the sound and runs toward Jane. Then Jane goes to the place where the fireball had fallen, but the whole area is completely destroyed and all the birds are dead. Suddenly, Jane starts feeling unwell and blood starts coming from her nose. At that moment, Owen runs to her, picks her up, and takes her inside the house. But this time, Jane starts behaving strangely and keeps pushing Owen away from her. Owen tries his best to calm her down, but Jane's behavior becomes very different, as if she's turning into a zombie. After that, the scene shifts again to the city of London, where people are busy with their daily routines as usual. Then we see a girl named Susan in a cafe, working as a waitress. After serving all the customers, she takes a little rest. Among those customers, we also see a boy named Jim, who is planning a trip with his friends. But suddenly, some fireballs also fall from the sky right in the middle of the city, which creates chaos everywhere. The group quickly starts running to the back of the cafe, but one man there doesn't go to the back and instead watches people running through the glass window. The group quickly takes out their phones to call for help, but none of their phones have signal, which spreads even more fear among them. Suddenly, a bird crashes hard into the cafe window and dies. The man, out of fear, steps back and stands with the group, but they have no idea what has happened outside. Then suddenly, a woman stumbles into the cafe, and her face is completely black and blood starts coming out of her mouth. Susan quickly runs to help her and gives her some water, but the woman is completely silent and doesn't say a single word. Then the group tries again to call for help, but there is still no signal. Suddenly, a citywide alert alarm starts ringing and Susan, out of fear, starts crying. But Jim comes to her and comforts her, saying everything will be okay. Then the cafe owner turns on the TV and calls the group over to watch, where it is being shown on the news that no city is safe right now, and people who are still alive should either stay inside their homes or find a safe place because the situation outside is very bad. Suddenly, the condition of the woman who had come inside starts getting worse. The group rushes to help her, but Jim sees another woman outside who has completely turned into a zombie. Jim quickly asks the cafe owner for the key so he can lock the door, but his friends say maybe she needs help and that they should help her. But Jim quickly takes the key and locks the door. Then the woman inside also turns into a zombie and attacks the group, but one man there holds her tightly, and in the struggle, the zombie woman bites his hand. Out of pain, the man slams her hard into the wall, which kills her. Meanwhile, the entire city starts getting destroyed, and the government tries its best to bring the situation under control. The group, out of fear, blocks the door using furniture so nothing from outside can come in. But the zombies outside keep trying their best to get in. The man who was bitten also starts feeling unwell, and blood starts coming from his mouth and nose. The group realizes that he will also turn into a zombie, so the cafe owner quickly picks up a frying pan and hits him hard, making him fall to the ground. The group quickly escapes through the back door, but just a few seconds later the man turns into a full zombie, gets up again, and attacks the cafe owner. Meanwhile, the group runs through the city trying to find a safe place, but the whole city is full of zombies. Then Susan tells everyone that she has a car and they can safely escape in it, so everyone starts heading toward that car. As the group reaches the parking lot, they see that some zombies are already there and are infecting another person. The group slowly moves toward the car, and just as they get inside, a zombie comes from behind, and it even has a baby zombie with it. Susan quickly turns off the car, thinking the zombies won't see them, but the zombie keeps trying to open the door for a long time. Out of fear, the others ask her to drive away. So Susan starts the car again and drives off, heading straight toward Heatherfield. Actually, Jim and Susan are both from Heatherfield, so they make a plan to go to their families. But halfway through, the car's tire gets punctured and they don't have a spare tire. So everyone has to continue the journey on foot. After walking for a long time, the group reaches a place where they are surrounded by zombies from both sides. So the group quickly runs into a building, and Jim blocks the door with a wooden stick so they can buy some time to escape. But soon, the zombies broke through the door and started forcing their way in. The group quickly went upstairs using the stairs, and then a fireball came at full speed and hit the building, changing the entire structure. Still, the group tried their best to keep going up. Suddenly, Susan and Jim fell behind the group, and a zombie grabbed Susan's leg through a hole, but luckily Jim was right behind her and saved her from the zombie. Just then, more zombies arrived and the two of them quickly entered a nearby room. But inside that room, there was also a zombie holding a hammer. Jim quickly grabbed the hammer from the zombie's hand hand and gave it to Susan, and both of them quietly sneaked out of the room. Meanwhile, the rest of the group reached the upper floor, where they safely entered another room. Soon, Jim and Susan also arrived, and seeing them alive made everyone very happy. But their happiness didn't last long, as the zombies reached the room and started trying to open the door. The group had no other option but to escape through the window, so they quickly began climbing out one by one. But the zombies soon broke the door and rushed in, and one of them grabbed Jim. The group did everything they could to save him, and luckily, they succeeded. They pulled Jim back toward them and quickly shut the window. Now standing on the rooftop of the building, they could see that the whole city was destroyed in every direction. Jim said, "We should go back down to get out of here." But the other group members said, "We just escaped death and got up here. How can we go back down?" Jim replied, "We can't stay here either. We don't have food or water to survive until rescue arrives." Then one of the group members noticed an open window and told the group they could escape through there. So the group started going out one by one through the window, but Susan still saw zombies roaming outside. So Jim decided that they would stay here tonight and start their journey again the next morning. So all the group members went to sleep there for the night. The next morning, as soon as one group member woke up, he went outside to check if the situation was safe or not. But suddenly, a zombie grabbed his hand and bit him. His scream woke up the rest of the group and they ran to save him, but the zombie fully bit him. As soon as the group pulled their friend away, the zombie tried to come inside to bite the other group members, but Jim quickly picked up a metal rod lying nearby and killed the zombie through the doorway. After that, the group tried to quietly leave the building with their injured friend. But as they reached the stairs, they saw a lot of zombies gathered below. So, the group went back up to the rooftop. As soon as they reached the top, their friend's condition started getting worse. Jim quickly searched for an escape route and found a staircase going down. The group started escaping through it, but their friend's health kept getting worse and he started having trouble breathing. Jim, who was at the back, went to help his friend, but by then his friend had completely turned into a zombie and attacked Jim. Susan, who was still nearby, ran quickly and hit the zombie friend with the hammer, killing him on the spot. Then the group left the place and started looking for another safe location to spend the night. Soon they saw a hospital and took the elevator to go upstairs. As they reached the upper floor, they didn't see any zombies at first and kept moving forward. But suddenly, a zombie came from the side and attacked, biting one group member's fingers. Jim quickly pulled the zombie back and Susan hit it in the head with the hammer, but their friend was in a lot of pain. So Susan and Jim went alone to the upper floor, leaving the others in a room to make sure the upper floors were safe. But when they reached the top, they were shocked because the entire upper floor was destroyed. Meanwhile, Jim's friend, who was with his girlfriend Kate on the lower floor, tried to go upstairs with her help, but he fell to the ground, making a noise that attracted nearby zombies. The couple quickly hid under a bed so the zombies couldn't see them. At the same time, Jim and Susan found a doctor on the upper floor. They asked him for help, saying their friend was in danger and needed treatment. But the doctor said, "I can't come with you. There are too many zombies downstairs." Meanwhile, the couple quietly tried to move back upstairs, but the boyfriend's condition got worse and blood started coming out of his nose and mouth. He told Kate to leave, but she refused to leave him alone. So he pushed Kate out of the room, locking her out, and stayed inside, turning fully into a zombie. Jim and Susan arrived just in time, and they took Kate with them. Then, the group left the building and started heading into the forest, thinking that maybe the city was no longer safe and the forest path might be safer. But after walking for a while, they heard zombie noises there too. So, they started running. But suddenly, Kate fell to the ground and got left behind. While Susan and Jim were running fast, they heard Kate's screams. A zombie had attacked her. They ran back toward her, but before they could reach her, the zombie completely bit Kate. Jim killed the zombie quickly, but it was already too late because Kate had also turned into a zombie. Now, Susan and Jim, filled with sadness, continued their journey alone, heading toward Heatherfield. After walking for a long time, Susan and Jim finally reached Susan's house, where they found only her younger sister, Nicole. Susan asks Nicole about their parents, but Nicole says she's the only one left alive. The rest have turned into zombies. Then the group gets in the car and heads to Jim's house. When they arrive, they meet Jim's brother Owen, who we saw at the beginning of the story. Owen is really happy to see Jim and invites everyone inside. After a while, Jim asks Owen about Jane and where she is, but Owen doesn't answer. Suddenly, an alarm outside the house starts ringing. It's the one Owen set up to detect zombies, but luckily, it turns out to be just one zombie, and Owen quickly kills it. Later that evening, while the group is resting, we see Susan in the bathroom, but she suddenly hears a noise from another room. She quickly goes to check and finds Jane tied up in there. Just then, Owen shows up and tells Susan to come eat, then leaves. During dinner, Susan asks Owen, "Why have you kept Jane alive all this time?" Owen replies, "Because Jane isn't hurting anyone. That's why I kept her alive." After hearing this, everyone feels a bit more relieved and they all go to sleep for the night. The next morning, Owen wakes up and goes to check on Jane, only to find she's broken the rope tied to her hand. She suddenly attacks Owen and bites his hand. Meanwhile, Jim senses something strange. It feels like zombies are gathering outside, so he quickly wakes everyone up. When they look outside, they see a bunch of zombies surrounding the house from all sides. At that moment, Owen comes downstairs, but Jane has already freed herself and suddenly attacks the group. They somehow manage to restrain her, and finally, with a heavy heart, Owen shoots Jane with a shotgun and she dies right there. After that, Owen tells everyone to escape through the back route, but Jim refuses to leave his brother behind. Owen tells Jim he's already been infected, so he can't go with them. Even then, the group doesn't want to leave him. So Owen runs outside through the back, attracting the zombies toward him so the group can escape. He fights hard and kills many zombies, but soon his gun runs out of bullets. At the same time, the group sees the front path is clear, so they start running to escape. Meanwhile, the remaining zombies catch Owen and bite him from all sides. Jim, Susan, and Nicole run, and finally reach a cemetery with an old church. They decide to spend the night there. As soon as they enter, they lock and seal the church doors from inside, but the zombies keep chasing them and arrive at the church too. They start breaking down the main door. At that moment, Jim tells Susan and Nicole to go up to the tower while he tries to hold the door and stop the zombies, but there are too many and they break the door, grabbing Jim. Jim somehow fights back and runs to the tower door where Susan and Nicole are waiting for him. They quickly open the door, pull him inside, and lock it again. Nicole tries to use a radio to call for help, but sadly, no one responds. Seeing this, Susan starts crying, but her sister comforts her, saying everything will be okay. Then the group sees a swarm of zombies coming from below, and they have no way to escape. They're all shocked and sad and they're stuck there. And that's where the story ends. If you liked this recap, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next recap video. Bye.